Now we're going to take a moment to look at a couple of questions from the STAR test, the 8th grade STAR science test, and we're going to use some of the tools that we learned about when addressing multiple choice questions. So question 1 states that there are 3 different species of plants that live in the desert, and they're shown below. So you have species X, species Y, and then species Z. Species Z can successfully share the same environment with the other plants shown because species Z absorbs water. So at this time, I want you to pause the video and read through your answer choices and choose the best answer for this question. Okay, so before I reveal the correct answer, let's take a moment and examine what's actually happening in the diagram. So a species is a type of organism, and so we have 3 species, 3 different species. So while they may be in the same family, there are 3 individually different organisms. And if you look at their structures, they look different. This one is tall and has a lot of leaves. This one is also tall, but if you notice, the leaves branch out wider, and then this one's more like a cactus. You can also view some changes based on their roots. So this one here, they're vertical and they run deep. This one here also runs vertical as deep into the ground. And then you have this one here where its roots are close to the surface of the ground. And so what I would do is I would just make notes of the different structures that are different between all 3 of the species. And so what we're trying to do here is asking, they share the same environment, but we need to figure out why they're able to exist in the same environment. So while they're not the same organism and the same species, they can still live in the same environment, and we need to figure out which one is a true statement regarding the species. And so what I'll do is I'll read each statement, and I'm basically going to determine whether or not it's a true or false statement. If it's true, there's a chance that that could be the correct answer. All right, so here it says that Z can successfully share the same environment. So this is the one that we're focusing on with the other plants because Z absorbs water how? So roots is where the plant can absorb water. So this is where I'm going to focus. And we already decided and determined that the roots are close to the surface of the ground. So are the roots found deep underground? No, that would be a false statement. So I'm going to exit out. B also describes roots as deep and underground. That is also a false statement. So I'm going to mark that out. So process of elimination is determining which statements are not true for that diagram. All right, so now we can move on to C and D. Species Z can absorb water near the soil surface. That is a true statement because the roots are close to the surface of the ground right here. So both of these are going to be true statements, so I can't eliminate either one of them as the wrong answer. Now let's read the second part of the statement, and again we're trying to figure out the true statement. Species Y absorbs water near the soil surface. So here's species Y. We're now looking at another plant. And it says that the plant can absorb water near the soil surface. Well, if we look at the roots here, none of them really branch out towards the top of the surface, the ground surface, like species Z. So already this tells me that this is a false statement, so I'm going to go ahead and put an X on it. But I don't want to eliminate C altogether because I need to look at the last option as well. Species Y absorbs water found deep underground. Yes, these roots are deep underground, so that is a true statement. So because I have 2 true statements in this answer choice, D would be the correct answer. So hopefully you were able to answer that correctly. When you are looking at diagram questions, the answers are typically in the diagram, so we just need to practice reading diagrams, looking at pictures, and making observations and drawing conclusions.